Hey there! Well, today I am going to do a little harvesting in my garden, and so I thought I would show you what is happening in here since I posted a video about building it. It's been growing really well, and so I'm excited to get some things harvested out of the garden, and I wanted to show you what is doing well and what isn't doing so well, and just give you a little update. So let's go inside the garden and I'll show you around. Fall seemed to come so fast this year, and all the leaves are already changing, and it is the first week of September. Anyways, here are some tomatoes that I have. And so the garden's pretty small. I have harvested some things like carrots. I planted rainbow carrots in this row and I harvested them, and they were pretty funny looking. So I planted some more and we'll see how they do. I did not thin them like you're supposed to, so they might not be that great either. But in this pot I have some small potatoes growing, and then right here I have artichoke, and then broccoli. I've got a really good broccoli head right here, so I'm looking forward to harvesting that. And I just have 2 cucumber plants growing here. But I do have some cucumbers down here. Here's another nice one right there growing. Over here I have peas, and I have been harvesting as I see them. Just a few here and there, and they're always good in salads. And I have beans growing here. One plant, and there's some beans growing on it, but we'll see how big they get before it freezes. I will try to cover my tomatoes as the weather changes. And these are potatoes. And we had trouble with a pocket gopher. Dug right up in the dirt and pretty much ate 2 potato plants that were right there. So I have those ones still growing, and then I have them here in a mound as well. And these tomato plants all have tomatoes on them, and I think they're gonna do okay. I will cover them, and if it gets too cold, I guess I'll just cut the green tomatoes off and see what I can do with those. I have cabbage growing here, and it's not ready yet, but we have been getting some good zucchini. Seems like zucchini is the thing that everybody can grow pretty well. I have more broccoli and cabbage, which I'm really hoping the cabbage will continue to grow because I love cabbage. And then I have cauliflower here. Everything that I planted in this garden was the middle of June, and I knew that it wasn't the recommended amount of time to grow things here, but I know you got to start somewhere, and I figured I have nothing to lose. I do have a bunch of gold beets here that need to be harvested. I already did take out some red beets, and they were looking pretty good. And I still have a couple of red beets here and there to harvest. And these are turnips that I planted, just kind of random over here in another carrot. And I have some onions, and these are potatoes too, small potatoes that I started from a seed, actually. And then I have watermelon and pumpkin. All of this is watermelon and pumpkin. But here's a little watermelon growing. And then I have another nice sized one down there. Might be kind of hard to see here, but you can see them pretty good from the outside of the fence. And right here is acorn squash. But I do have some good pumpkins growing in here. This is a funny one. Look at that. There's 2 coming off of one. And I've been trimming it as much as I possibly can. And I don't really know what I'm doing, so I just trim what looks like needs to be trimmed. and I'm letting the rest of it grow. I know that I planted everything in a way too small of a spot, but you know, that's what gardening is about, right? You learn. You do it and you learn. So I do have some good-sized pumpkins in there. There's more. It's just hard to see them because they're hiding under all the vines and the leaves, but here's another nice pumpkin that's growing. I planted Big Macs and Cinderella. So let's harvest some of these vegetables. He's a little funny looking. This one looks like it should be a little better. I spotted one more head of broccoli that looks like it's pretty much ready. Over in these containers, I have a few things growing. I have sweet potatoes, which I know those are not going to mature before the temperature gets too cold, but I tried. I also have some lettuce and basil, and then I have some celery right here and some peppers, and I think these peppers, they look like they're gonna do okay. And then I have some more herbs over here: rosemary, the cilantro, which has gone to seed, thyme, and a little bit more basil there. I have this chicken wire set up over it to keep the deer from eating it. On the side of the fence here, you can see the pumpkins. They are wanting to push the fence right out. So next year I will have to have a different plan for pumpkins. And then we've got these two. They're actually coming off of different vines, and this one is a Cinderella and that one is a Big Macs. And then here you can see I've got some watermelons growing down here. It's really smoky out, but it's very windy, so it's blowing a lot of the smoke away. And this is our camper where we lived until we finished our loft space, and now we're living up there. So that's my garden update. I did get a pretty good harvest, and there's still more to come. Hopefully it doesn't freeze too soon, but I am watching the temperatures. It's been a really good learning experience, and I'm so glad that I started it, even though I started it late, because I've learned a lot and I have gotten to enjoy some of the bounty from the garden. The potatoes will be interesting to dig up, knowing that we've had some pocket gophers around here, so we'll have to come up with a solution for that. Another thing that I have been fighting all summer are cabbage worms, and I haven't used any sprays. I know there are different homemade sprays that you can make, and I haven't done that. I probably will do that next year, but this year I just come out and every day I squish them and I just take them off or squish them. So I got some good broccoli here, and I'm pretty happy about that. So this has been a lot of fun, and I definitely want to keep gardening, and this isn't my first experience gardening. I did a little bit when we lived in town, but this is the first time I've had a garden in the mountains at high elevation, and it's a lot different, and there's a lot more pests, or critters I should say, to consider when you live out here. So I'm learning, and it's definitely worth it.